Hey, are we live? I think we are. Yeah. Well, this always works every other time, it seems to work. So I assume I'm live. 6 people, 7 people. Well, 7. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I know it's only 7 days since the last one, but it was a month before that one. So I thought every fortnight. I'm going to do another one on Friday, and then I'll have a break for a few weeks after that. I think you'll be fed up with me by then. But anyway, hello, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I've got all my notes here, but as I said before, I can't keep doing this and this. Welcome to Livestream 3. If you haven't tuned in before, my name's Sarah, originally from London. I moved to Liverpool about 20 years ago for university, and I stayed here, and I'm still here. So the last 2 live streams have been from London. I had to go down for family reasons. This one is from where I live now, in Liverpool. Okay. So if you haven't tuned in before, I think most of you here will have tuned in before. I'm a male to female transvestite. I don't think I'm any more than that. It did cross my mind once upon a time I might be more. I might want to live my life as a girl, but I decided that things in my life as it was meant more to me than changing my gender. So my live streams and my videos and my whole channel is targeted at the part-time T-girl, the part-time crossdresser. So if you're someone that's a bit further on, seeking advice about surgery, about hormones, about starting that process off, or when you're going through that process, I'm not the person to ask. I wish you Godspeed with that, but I'm not the person to ask. So I'm here for the part-time male to female crossdresser, someone who likes to be a girl now and again, once a week, once a month, once a year, and just wants to listen to me talk and give you the benefit of my experience. Been going out for 12 years now, so I think I've got a reasonable amount of experience and observations I can pass on to you. Good evening, Jeffers. Good to see you. Raise. Okay. So, you know all about how I started Sarah TV and what the plan for the channel is. I've actually been in girl mode for 3 days now, but unfortunately the weather's been so bad with the wind. It's the wind that's a killer. But I've barely managed to get out. I've got out to the supermarket 2 or 3 times, and that's it. So I didn't really get much chance to film. I've got another week in Sarah mode with the opportunity to do Sarah mode. So fingers crossed the weather will improve and I can get a lot more videos next week or in weeks, in a week or 2 from now. Okay, I thought tonight, I thought I'd talk about, quick news announcement. Bought these yesterday. To be honest, they're probably a little bit too small for me, but I think they'll be useful for like modeling videos, because I keep meaning to do the modeling videos, like lingerie and a bit more sexy stuff. I went shopping for lingerie yesterday to Marks and Spencer's, which is like a sort of department store here in the UK, which is always known for its like quality underwear. And the selection was abysmal. I think I kind of got the feeling that they'd used the current situations, pandemic situation, to get rid of all the rubbish underwear that no one's bought for a year. So throw that out. We'll have a very small selection, so they can't buy anything else. So they'd be forced to buy all our rubbish stuff for like £25 for a bra and £8 for one set of underwear. So unfortunately, I didn't get any decent lingerie. But I'm wearing a bit of a girly outfit today. I don't know if you can see, floral skirt, and I've got my nude hold-ups on today. Can you see? There you go. And same as last time. So there you go. But hopefully that won't get me into trouble like it did on Livestream 1 when I got a bit carried away and flashed a bit too much. But then I get complaints for that, and I got complaints from last live stream because I didn't flash enough. So you know what? I'll flash a bit. How about that? Yeah. Okay. Well, I thought I'd tell you exactly how I go from male mode to female mode. Right. I didn't really. I had one makeup lesson, and that was too late. I'd been dressing for 10 years by then, and it didn't do anything for me. I wasn't the standard punter that the guy was used to dealing with. I think I mentioned this last week. I wanted someone to take me to from level 4 to level 6, and he just took me from level 0 to level 2, and I didn't like it. So the first thing you want to do, okay, is if you're a painter, you want the best canvas. Yeah, you're not going to paint right. You're not going to paint a masterpiece on a cheap canvas with dirt on it, dust on it, with rips in it, tatty around the edges. So you've got to treat your face as the canvas. So what that means is you've got to look after your face. And if you go out, if you do girl mode once a week, once a month, once a year, you've still got to look after your face if you want the best return, the best look that you can get. So on a daily basis, I would advise you to moisturize at least once. Okay, this isn't the 1970s when it wasn't the done thing for men to do things like that. There's plenty of male products out there as well. I get a very cheap moisturizer. Literally, this is what I use. Nivea. It costs about £2, $3. Okay, and I put that on in the morning and in the evening. Even if I'm not going out in girl mode for a couple of weeks, I'll use that, right? So you want to moisturize on a daily basis. And then I've told you about how I deal with my beard. I pluck it out about 50 a day, every day. And I tend to focus around here and here. Don't worry about up here. Doesn't matter too much. You can put a thicker foundation on, and you can use your hair to frame your face like I always do. So you want to pluck out the hairs. Don't pluck out sort of what I usually do. If I know I'm not going out as Sarah for, say, a week or 2 weeks, I'll let it grow for 4 or 5 days. I mean, I'm naturally blonde anyway, and I've been very lucky. I have very sparse beard growth. I only shave once a week, every 10 days normally anyway. So I will pluck out random bits on a daily basis, about 50 to 100 hairs. There's around 2,000 to 3,000 hairs in this area here. So if you stay on top of it on a daily basis, let it grow a little bit so you're not digging into your face, and then just pluck them out randomly every day. It takes 2 or 3 minutes. Get 50 to 100 out, smooth yourself away, and oh yeah, hi Pen, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine, thanks Pen. Obviously don't grow your beard and then pluck one chunk of one beard. So you've got half a moustache or something like that. It makes it pretty obvious. So that's the first sort of maintenance step I would advise. Moisturize, and that's how I do it. Some people do electrolysis. I know electrolysis is very cheap nowadays. When I started, it was £100 a session. I've heard of some people saying it's like £10, $12 a session in some places now. So if that's an option for you, by all means, go and do it. But the next best thing is to pluck them yourselves. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks for the hair bulb to reform, for the hair to grow out. So it gives you a good effect. I wouldn't advise waxing your face. I don't even know if you could do that, can you, anyway? That's the legs. I've never done that. That's the second part of the maintenance. Third part is your eyebrows. Remember, as I said last week, female eyebrows, they arch over the black of your eye. That's the pupil, okay? And you want the top of the arch. It's not always, you don't have to get it perfect. You want to get the top of the arch of your eyebrow in line with your pupil. Mine's just a little bit to the side, to the iris there. That's where you want to go, okay? Now, male eyebrows don't tend to be as archy as females anyway. So do your best. An eyebrow is more about keeping them tidy. I certainly, as I said last week, I certainly wouldn't advise you to cut them into a elaborate shape, and then if you're spending 99% of your life in boy mode, because you know people notice, particularly women notice a lot more of these things than men actually. So you want to pluck from the bottom, and you want to try and lift your brow and tidy it up. And when you get to put your, we'll come on to this in a minute. But yeah, the maintenance really for that is just keep them tidy and pluck all the stray hairs out from this area here. Okay, that's what I would do. Right. What else have I missed? So there's your canvas. Take care of it on a daily basis for the best results. Okay, and that's just as important as whether you put a bit of foundation here, a bit of blusher there, a bit of which shade of lipstick you use. It's just important to have good skin, a good canvas to work on. Excuse me. The other thing I've mentioned before is about exfoliating. I use a exfoliating product which is in the bottom of the shower. It's a thing I just get from a local chemist. It's got, sometimes they have crushed compounds in them, walnut shells. The idea is just to get the gunk off your skin. I wouldn't advise doing it on a daily basis. Maybe you want 2-3 times a week. Just try and keep your skin smooth. Try and get all that debris off on a daily basis. So there's the 4 parts then to use sort of maintenance, even if you're not going to dress for a week or a month. That's what I would advise. Moisturize morning, moisturize evening. Keep your eyebrows trim, a nice shape, and pluck from the bottom all the stray hairs, and just pluck from underneath now and again. Just try and lift that, particularly in the middle. Just try and lift your natural. You can always thin them out and draw over the top of them in whatever you like, but that's how I do it. Keep this area, try and keep it as stubble free as you can. Randomly pick out the nasty black ones as and when you go. It does hurt, but you know, that's the price of beauty. And I can't even remember what the 4th one was. So we got moisturize, eyebrows, face, and exfoliate. They're the 4 steps that I do on a sort of daily, every 2-day basis. And I go out of serum maybe 2-3 times a month. So every 10 days, it's probably average for me. That's how I approach it. So if we go on to, that's the female, yes, pluck facial hair, electrolysis, eyebrows, knees. Okay, let's go on to the day of. We've got another comment. Hi Ben, hi babe, got through. Hi Jeffers, nice outfit, ideal for a lunch date. Are you offering, are you, Jeffers? Hi Victor. Victor, didn't you moan I didn't show any leg to you last time? Okay, it's not a lot of space in here, but I don't know. There we go. Are you happy with that? Do you like those, Victor? I haven't actually worn them out yet, but they'll get a going. They'll get a going out of that. There you go. Is that enough leg? Naughty boy. Right. So let's go on. So today's the day, okay? Your wife, your significant other has gone away for the weekend, or you're not in work. You've just got the day to yourself, and it's going to be a girly day, okay? Right. This is how I do it so I'm in boy mode. Obviously, I'll get undressed. I always go in the shower when I'm going out. For a couple of reasons, really. You don't have to, but for a couple of reasons, really. I just find it easier to shave myself, shave my face close. I tend to shave. I mean, I've shaved my arms at the moment. I'm completely hairless all over. So, but if you're in the shower, I just think it's easier just to shine it, and it all washes away, and you can use nice sort of soapy product to smooth the razoring away. You know what I mean. So if I start on my face, I use bog standard razor, which I don't have. 3 blades, pretty good. The best you can get, really. That's an advertising slogan, isn't it? I'm not sponsored by them. So what I would do is just try and shave as close as you can. There's no secret to that. You know, that I'm not telling you anything earth-shattering when I say that. Shave as close as you can. Around here, I tend to go in for. I mean, hairs grow down. You always want to be shaving up in everywhere. Here, 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 and under here. Shaving up. But I also shave in all 4 directions as well. Predominantly up. But I'll also shave in all 4 directions as well. Cross, 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 cross. To say for here, I'll be. And puff your cheeks out. That will help get you the closest shave possible. And if you've been plucking, or if you're lucky enough to do electrolysis, then you can get quite a good effect. I'm lucky, I'm fair, so I think I do okay from a facial hair. It's not a problem for me. I've not got the 5 o'clock shadow that some people have problems with. So shaving shower, I usually exfoliate before I shave. Other people might disagree with that. I just found that if I shave really close and then I exfoliated, that extra layer or 2 of the dermis, the skin I take off, would then expose hairs again, because I've taken the hair, the skin away from around the outside. So that's why I exfoliate first. Shave as close as you can, then move on to your body hair, shave your arms. I know a lot of us have partners that don't like us shaving legs, shaving arms, don't like us being girls, full stop, do they? Let's face it. I tended to just shave to about there. Don't forget to shave your fingers. You get hairy fingers and wrists. It can be quite hard to shave your fingers. You tend to take a big chunk of your knuckle out as well. Just be careful with that. don't forget to shave your hands, shave them down to the wrists, and then you can wear a long top. I got, you know, like any man, I've got big hands. I used to play in goal when at football, and I was too small to be any good though. But you know, 5'10" is too small. You got to be about 6'8" these days. You can wear longer sleeve tops to help offset that. I didn't paint my nails tonight, sorry. And then shave your legs. Do that in the shower as well. Some people exfoliate their legs and their arms. Up to you really. If you can't shave your legs, I mean, you can probably get, even with the most difficult female partner, I don't mean that harshly, even with the most challenging female partner, you can probably get away with shaving your hands down to your wrists without too much hassle, and then you can wear longer tops. If you really can't shave your legs, then you'll have to wear thicker tights. I know we all like the really sheer ones, the sheerer the better. I do anyway. But you have to wear thicker tights. You can also wear those pattern tights. You can get pattern tights, like flowery motifs on them, not fishnets. Well, I suppose you could, but they tend to hide hair, actually. They tend to disguise hair somehow. So that's another option for you if you can't shave. But that's what I do. So I'm in the shower, I'm fully shaved off, I've exfoliated, I've shaved, I've done my body, and then I get out. I give it about 10 minutes, and then I'll moisturize my face. Because as I said to you before, I use the tape to give myself a DIY facelift. This stuff here, it's got another 2 rolls off eBay the other day, about £5 each. This one, the 3M Blender Translucent 5 centimeters, the only one that works. I've tried every other tape in existence. This is the only one that works. There's a video on my very first how-to video, a second how-to video, tells you how to do that. So you want to dry yourself completely, then you want to moisturize. And because the tape, I don't know if you can see it on that side. Can you see it out there? Yeah. Because the tape won't stick to the moisturizer very well, just avoid this area, avoid the temple area, okay? And then just moisturize everywhere else. Here. I did quite a lot of pictures a couple of days ago showing me full transitioning from, you're never going to see me in male mode, but you'll see it as it all goes on, step by step. So that'll be in the third how-to video when it ever gets made. But it's in production. It's been in production for about 3 months, but yeah. I promise you. Any more comments before we go? One day. Jeff was, I don't know what you mean. Hi, Obi. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Well, we've met before. We've met, but we haven't. But nice to see you here tonight, darling. Okay. Where was I? I always go off on tangents, don't I? So we're out of the shower, we've shaved, we're moisturizing. If we're going to use the tape trick, I would advise you to at least try it, because for me, it made a massive difference. It made me look 5 years younger, and it definitely made me more passable. When I was going out, people reading me and giving me looks, the double takes, the nudge in the ribs. You get really sensitive hearing when you're out in girl mode, and they think they're whispering, but you can hear what they're saying. They literally went down so much when I started pulling my cheekbones up. So I would advise you to at least try that. So don't moisturize the temple area, because you're going to attach your tape. So you dry, you moisturized your face. That's the time to use the tape. So you put the end of a stocking cap or anything. Yeah, I use the end of a stocking. Put it over your head, pull your tape down, fix it to one side, pull it around the back of your head, fix it to the other side. You probably want to fix it just in the corner of your eye there. And you have to pull it really, really tight. It will hurt and you'll look ridiculous, okay? You'll sort of look a bit deformed. But that's right, because what happens is this tape, it loosens. And 15 minutes later, your face will fall slowly down, down, down. And then you'll have much more prominent cheekbones. And you can see, it makes it look a lot better. If I didn't have this tape on, I wouldn't be confident going out anymore without it. You can also pull it over the top of your head a bit more. If it does loosen through the day and you're losing the effect, you can pull it forward a bit more, and then it works again, because it's obviously a shorter distance. It's the kind of thing, I can talk all night about that. That's the kind of thing that it's trial and error. You'll have to try it yourself. But I would thoroughly recommend at least trying it. You may be lucky enough and you've got female cheekbones, maybe 22, although I don't think I've got many 22-year-olds watching me tonight. And you've got perfect skin and you don't need any of these tricks. But someone left me a comment actually on the comment to say, why go to all this trouble? And I'm like, well, because I have to, because some of us have to, you know, and it's fun, you know, once you've taken a girl so far, you want to take her further. You want to do all the tiny little bits of attention to detail, you know, put girly tattoos on your legs, paint your toenails, get your ears properly pierced, you know. So, you know, anyway, let's see where we're up to on my notes. So we've come out the shower, we've moisturised, we've shaved, we've put our tape over our face. So I suppose really, I'd give it 10 minutes after you moisturise. Use a dry tissue. Just wipe all the excess moisturiser off your face. Give it another 10 minutes. Another important thing here, and I think a lot of you will understand and can relate to what I'm about to say. You want the right environment, you want the right temperature, is what I'm going for. Don't try and put your makeup on in a freezing cold room. It just doesn't seem to go onto the, I don't know the science behind it. My experience is if you try and get made up in a really cold room, your face doesn't seem to take the makeup. Then if your skin becomes more tense because of the lower temperature. So you want a slightly, you know, a comfortable, warmish temperature. But then you can't go too warm because, particularly before I lost a bit of weight a few years ago, used to sweat so badly. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be wearing a woolly hat all day as well, aren't we? And sweating's only going to be getting worse if you're out in July and it's 28 degrees outside. So, but yeah, get a decent temperature, just enough that you're not sweating, but your skin is nice, is warmer, so the makeup will go in better. You can always open the window if you find it, you know, sweat, because sweat is a killer for makeup, male to female. The tape will fall off, the makeup will run. You might as well go home. So, in fact, you might as well not leave the house at that point. But yeah, get a comfortable temperature. Open the window if you need to, and off we go. Well, moisturizer is done. So we're going to talk foundation. So we're all done now. We're all ready. Our canvas is perfect because we've been paying attention to detail for the last month before we're due to go out. So I use something very simple. I prefer liquid. Okay. I think that's from just a local pharmacy. Oh, there's the light cam. It's always back to front. Matte foundation, £5, about $6. That's from Boots, which is a pharmacy store in the UK. Use a sponge. Get a decent sponge because you can get these cheap ones. I use, well, it's a sponge. There's no point in showing you that in detail. Get a decent one, okay? Really smooth and really fine, because you can buy really dead cheap ones. But what happens is the coarser they are, the more they streak the liquid foundation. I mean, you might want to try more solid foundation, but I've always used liquid because I find it can just get it into the areas with the sponge properly. Okay. In terms of how to shade it, I don't know if you've ever seen women in pharmacies doing this. Well, apparently your natural skin color is out of the sun, and this part is more your natural skin color, or you can match it to this part here. Apparently you can match it to there as well. Not always easy to do with testers in pharmacy and boy mode, but there you go. So I use that and a sponge, but get a decent one, because a coarse one will just leave streaks all over your face. Really smooth, nice one, nice grade one. You can get it right in there. Nice, good universal coverage. No streaks, looks totally natural. In terms of his shade, as I say, you'll have to shade yourself. We all come in different colors, shape, sizes, and but the best trick really is to match it up. Maybe go a tone darker than the inside of your wrist. Okay. So, okay. Foundation, cheekbones. We don't have foundation, we don't have cheekbones. Well, then it's up to you, really, where you go. You've got your canvas, you've got your foundation on. You can do your eyebrows first. As I mentioned, we've maintained those, haven't we? So I literally use a simple brown pencil. That's it. And then I just start here, try and make it thicker on this end. You're aiming to try and keep as much with your natural brow as possible. If you've got really dark brows, then you're probably going to have to stay in that line. If I've got really blonde brows, you can barely see them. Yeah, I can actually go outside them. I can actually thin those out so thin that you wouldn't even notice them. I tend to draw over the top of them, or right across the very top of the brow. Start thicker on this end, top of your arch in line with your pupil, and then arch them over. I always frame my face with my hair. I think I look better that way, so it's not that difficult to not that important to me to get them perfect. Same on that side. So you can see it's very simple. People literally, write an hour videos or make hour videos or write textbooks on eyebrows. Keep it simple. That's what I would do. Yeah, it depends what you're trying to do. I think, it's like I've always said to you that my aim when I go out in girl mode is to be ignored, is to blend in as any other female. And most females don't even wear makeup when they go to the shops. So I suppose overall, what we're trying to do is we're trying to wear makeup that makes us look like we're not wearing makeup. But because we're trying to do a very hard thing, which is to turn a man into a female's face, we have to. So sometimes we just have to wear more makeup than the average woman would wear in the street. But yeah, I keep my brows simple. In terms of mascara, again, nothing amazing. That was Boots, £5, $6. Be careful with mascara, particularly a new one. If you just get it out of the bottle and slap it on, it's very wet. And what you can find if you just slap it on, you'll find that your eyelashes always do the top. Some girls only do the top lash. I do both, but some girls only do the top lash. And then as they blink, it transfers to the bottom one. But don't put too much on, okay? Just put a little bit on, very, very slowly. It's a new one, it gets very wet and it can clump. And the other thing that happens, as you blink, it can transfer to the bit between your eyebrow and your eyelash. So you end up with black marks here, and they're very hard to get off mascara. Once you put your foundation on, you end up just smudging black all over your face. So very gently, don't put too much on. Some people, I've got one of those eyebrow curling tongs, although I usually pinch my eyelid when I try that. Myself watery eyes. But you could try that as well. That gives you opens your eyelashes right up, open your eyes out. Okay, so we've got our brows done, simple. Mascara, just do it very slowly, very gently. Sometimes even wipe the end of the mascara with a tissue before you do it. So you just add it. The thing with mascara is it's easy to add on, but it's not easy to take off. Okay, particularly when you've got all your foundation on, you'd have to start again because otherwise it just go all over your face. We'll move to your lips next. I do it two ways. I tend to go for more natural, just natural pencils or natural colours, this kind of thing. I want to give the impression of just natural female lips. I've got a red one on tonight. I've got this one on tonight, which is a bit more, there you go, which is a bit more glam, but that's only because I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, what I use is a pencil, just a very simple flesh colour pencil, and I draw it out over, up and across. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory what you've got to do. Women have bigger, fuller lips, and they contrast more. They're more contrasted to their face. Because men's lips aren't as red, aren't as big, in proportion to the face anyway. Women have a much smaller distance from here to here, filtrum area. So you want to give yourself bigger lips. Go outside with your pencil. Go outside your natural lip line. Make your lips bigger. Don't make them ridiculous like a clown, but make them a lot bigger. So I use a pencil, go around the outside and around the bottom, and then I fill it in. Just fill it in with whatever colour I want to use. So the pencil gives me sort of tracing line to fill in afterwards. But I tend to avoid. Actually, this lipstick's grown on me a bit. You're writing a lot of comments. I'm not ignoring you. I'm on them sort of, this is educational. We'll have a break, and because I'm boring myself, and I'll go to your comments. Okay. I got through one day. Fine. Maybe Jeff was maybe one day for lunch. Thank you for the tips on plucking facial hair, Sarah. I was always, when I first started speaking to other people, they told me not to do it. They said you'll end up with ingrowing hairs and zits. And you do, but not much. I think the effect that you get from plucking hair is far better than, well, it depends who you are. But I always think when you shave, doesn't matter how close you shave, it's still a bit bobbly. It still is. And women don't have that. They don't have those thick, they have hair on their faces, feeless hairs, but they just don't have those thick hairs. And I always find, doesn't matter how close you shave, it still ends up with little bobbly bits, which if someone gets too close to you or is on the lookout, it's a bit of a giveaway. So that's why I pluck my facial hair. And you do get the occasional ingrown hair. You do get the occasional zit, because you've got a crater out your face, really, haven't you? And bugs can get in. As long as you do it on a daily basis, as long as you're a clean person, it's never been a big problem. And I think the effect is so much better, and it lasts. You shave, you've got to shave tomorrow, and you've got to shave in 2 days, you've got to shave in 3 days. Whereas when you pluck your hair, it takes 4 to 6 weeks. You pluck your whole moustache out, and you're done for. There'll always be ones that you miss, but you're done for a month. So that's the way I do it. Other people might be horrified, but it's always worked for me. Hi, Pen. Leggies. Yes, my leg. There's my kitten heel shoes. Must showed you too much then. Okay. Hello, Barbara. Thanks for you just being you. I'll try my best. And yes, all you have sees me to a T. It'll happen, okay? Deposit mate. Oh, thank you, Pen. Penny is one of my Insight UK is otherwise known as Penny. One of my biggest fans. And she's helped support me as well. So thank you very much. I know some of you have sent super chats in the past. It's nice. It's just really nice of you to do that. But I don't come on here expecting anything. Well, maybe a little bit. Okay. You look gorgeous. I think so. I actually look quite pleased with the way I look today. Actually, I went out for a 10-minute walk before the live stream just to get my confidence up, and it went fine. I walked past loads of people. Didn't get any sort of those kind of looks or lingering stares, ones that you think, and I walked past a few people that I really wouldn't want to identify me as something I'm not, particularly on a sort of dark, cold, wet and windy night here, with no problem. So that was good. So that's good for my confidence. Definitely getting the bus home tonight now, Sarah. Dear Sarah, when did become Mrs. The Ring on my finger? Well, that one, 10 years ago. She knows. It's a bit of a shock to her because she found out about 6 months into our sort of relationship. But as I said this on Livestream 1, she went through the usual questions. Gay? Are you gay? Do you want to be a woman? She wasn't happy with it, but over time she realised that it wasn't going to go any further. It was a hobby. She wishes, I'm sure she doesn't like it. I'm sure she wishes it would go away, but she also knows that it's never going any further. Lipstick is very nice. Do you use panty liners at all? That's an interesting question. It depends on attention to detail when you answer these kind of questions. How far do you want to go when you transition temporarily? Do you want to go down all of those avenues? Like everything? Do you want to carry women's products around in your bag? Some people do. Just for the attention to the detail to get the full experience. It's not something I've actually done, but I know some people do put themselves, when they go out there in full act and they carry those things around with them, they go straight into female psyche. It's an act. I'll do everything that females do. So some people do, not me, but I just save the 99p or whatever they cost. Okay. The burr is important with lipstick. Pay attention to it. I did see something about this, that you go up and across and it gives you the, I did try it. Yeah, I know what you mean, Penny, but I just literally draw bigger lips, fill them in, and off I go. I don't need to do it. Maybe I could try, maybe I could look it up, but thanks for the tip. How about eyeliner? When I do it, I draw all over my eyeballs. I'm sure that's not what Led Zeppelin meant by physical graffiti. I have tried eyeliner. I was told by the makeup artist I went to I needed eyeliner. And I think I've come to the same conclusion as you, Orion, about that it is, I don't think it looks very good. I think it ends up going all over the place. I think it makes me look a bit too draggy, almost. So I'm going for a natural look. If I went for a night out, maybe I might try it. But, you know, because I'm going to the local supermarket, because I'm going to catch a bus at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I just don't need it. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, you can try it. Yeah. Everything I learned was trial and error. And I have tried eyeliner. I've tried false eyelashes and I couldn't get them to stick on. Again, is that what you want to do? If it depends what you want to do. Do you want to go out on the town on a Saturday night and do whatever you want? Put eyeliner on, put false lashes on, do whatever you want, babe. But if you want to go to buy a loaf of bread, like I do, then maybe you don't need to go quite so far. Maybe if you do go that far, you'll stand out, because the whole point is to pass. The whole point is to get by as female, to be treated as female, to not get the double takes, to not be made to feel uncomfortable. So the more and more you throw on, it goes back to the point I think I said before, that what we're trying to do is we're trying to put makeup on without it look like we're wearing makeup, in effect. I mean, you're always gonna look like you've got makeup on, of course you are, but you don't want to just overdo it. It just depends, time and place for everything, I guess. Jeffers, I take it from what you said is that you're still married. Yeah, I'd say it's over 10 years. She didn't know when we got together, but she knew before we, you know, she married me knowing, but she found out during the boyfriend girlfriend part. Yeah. But she's not thrilled with it. But after being out to her for 12, 13 years, she knows it's not going any further. I suspect if you asked her, she'd hope to go away and never do it again, and I'm sure she'd snap your hand off. But as we all know, for those of us who are male to female, it's not something you can. I mean, my mum knows. Okay, my mum said to me, my cousin's gay. Okay, and he's been out gay for 25 years. He got married, although he's divorced now. But my mum said to me, she said, "Oh, why can't you give it up? You know, your poor other half." And I said to her, I said, "Well, why don't you ask him to give up being gay? Because that's the way it is. It's part of me. I started putting my mum's skirts on when I was 5. You know, it's part of me. It's just as much of me as the color of my hair or the color of my eyes. You know, it's I was born with some sort of transgender personality. I don't go in for labels. I just like being a girl. I mean, it's as simple as that. I like being a boy 90% of the time. I like being a girl once or twice a month. That's it. I like practicing with the hair, with the makeup, and then I like putting it all together, going out in public and seeing how I go. Get the validation of how good am I? How good do I look? Can I interact with people without them giving me sort of backing off? So I think this is one of the biggest problems people run into with relationships. Definitely. I went through this last week, though. I should say that you're not going to, the wife that is elated and starts firing guns in the air and gets the champagne out when she finds out that her boyfriend or her husband is a tranny. They just don't exist. The one that's going to take you out every Saturday dressed up and let you buys you clothes and just does your makeup for you and takes you out. They may exist, but not really. They really don't. The only thing that will Some women just won't have it. Some people are going to divorce you. Some people will never mention it again and hope it goes away. Some people will accept it but won't talk about it and want and you know, out of sight, out of mind. If you want to dress, you can dress when I go and visit my mother. Other people will be a bit more okay with it. My other part, my wife, she's okay with me dressing in front of her. She's okay with me borrowing and stuff. But she took me out once and she didn't want to take me out again. She took me out once 10 years ago, girl mode, bar called the Lisbon in Liverpool, which is a gay pub. And she took me out once and she said she didn't want to take me out again. She said, do what you want. You've been, you know, you're a good male partner 90% of the time, and this is what you do, and this is as far as it goes. Then that's fine. So I dress in front of her. She knows to go out during the day. I'll be going home tonight, and she'll be there. So, so I think that's about the best I can hope for. But it's been 12 years. You know, if I came out to her right here, right now, I'm sure it'd be a different reaction. But I've proved to her that I don't want to take it any further. And you know, she does steal my makeup occasionally now. I bought a few makeup books, and she's been looking through those. So she's not on board, but she's on board, if you know what I mean. It's just part of me. So my other cousin, is a big Star Wars fanatic. He's 47, and 3 or 4 times a year he goes off to Star Wars conventions dressed as Darth Vader or a stormtrooper. Okay, I don't see there's much of a difference. You know, it's just being someone else. It's being in character, going out, having fun. That's the way I look at it. Okay? I'm never going to transition. I'm never going to take hormones. I'm never going to have facial feminization surgery or have something removed. But I suppose it's on the flip side. You've got to, if you put yourself in, if you flip it around, what would you think if your wife suddenly started dressing up in your clothes or buying boys' clothes, putting on a false moustache and going out on a man's wig and started going out shopping? You probably wouldn't be very thrilled, would you? I'd be horrified. So that's about, I think I'm about as lucky as you can get, really. But it has been time. That's all I can say. It's been 12 years. I'm out to all my family. Some of them have never spoken to me again, and some of them are fine. My mum's taken me out to meals and things like that. So any more comments? How about eyeliner? We've done that one. Married, yeah, we've done that. We've done relationships. Sarah, you are gorgeous and stunning. Keep writing those things down. Yeah. Good for my ego. I think I look all right tonight, though. Some days you do it and you just think, and you can't go out the door. And then other days you think, well, that's good. No one's going to pick me up then. But I think a lot of it's psychological as well, because I do the same makeup virtually for the last 10 years, and I've got the same wigs. I've got the same 5 wigs that I rotate around. So there's no difference. It's not like I'm brilliant one day and rubbish the next. It's just, I think a lot of it's psychological. So would you feel guilty meeting someone? Does she know you're doing these videos? Well, I don't think I could really. I don't mind meeting people. I don't mind meeting other girls. I don't even mind meeting people who are curious for fun and friendship. I mentioned in my first video, when you talk about Sarah and men, that there is a there's definitely a sense of female, I don't know the word for it, sort of female psychology comes with it as well. Sorry, I'm kicking in the I've got it set up a bit temporarily tonight. There is a bit of female psychology I definitely comes, because my body language starts going quite limp-wristed and start flicking my hair with the back of my hand, and that's not, I'm not thinking to do that, that's just coming. So there's definitely a bit of female psychology. I think I'm kind of attracted to the male, as I think someone mentioned about women's products. I think the way I look at a male is it's the next step. I've done everything else. And the next accessory, the ultimate male to female accessory, is the boyfriend. So I'm kind of attracted to the image of Sarah on someone's arm, on a boy's arm. Sarah with a boy's arm around her, or going out to dinner. But then when the lights go down And when the arm comes down from the shoulder and comes down to the leg, that's when, I don't know, that's when all things stop. Okay, so I think what I'm trying to say is I'm kind of in love with the idea as the ultimate male to female accessory for a boyfriend, and the image. I think it would make a great video to do Sarah out with her husband or her boyfriend. But in terms of taking it further than that, no, I don't think so, and certainly not as things currently stand. But you know, I am flattered. Who wouldn't be? Okay. Any more comments, or shall I just bore you a bit further with where we were up to? Well, I've come to the end of my notes anyway. 45 minutes. Okay. So we've done our brows. We've sparsely put on our mascara, built up very slowly so we don't make a mess. Eyeliner, up to you. Lip pencil, give the shape. Penny's made a good point there about the bow. I've forgotten exactly how you do it, but look up the bow on YouTube. Lips, the bow. There's a way of crossing, I think, and getting a good female center of the lip there. And then I just fill them in. You just have to play around with different lipsticks and see which suits you. I tend to go for a natural color just to make it look like my natural lips, larger natural female lips. But tonight I put a bit more of a color on. So at this point, and this is when we go on about contouring. This is something I hadn't really done until quite recently. Females have more prominent cheekbones than males. I did read somewhere that it's evolutionary, that during our hunter-gatherer part of our evolution, that higher cheekbones enable greater peripheral vision. So women were more able to forage for berries and see berries out of the corner of their eyes. I don't know if that's true or if that's just a grab, but whatever the evolutionary basis for it, they have higher, more prominent cheekbones. Okay, so what I do, maybe I could show you. Can you see that line? Obviously, if you've got a higher cheekbone, you'll have a shadow point. So what I do is I draw a shadow point on. I actually use, put the glasses on so I can see. Okay. I got an eyeshadow kit. Okay. Oh, I should mention I don't use eyeshadow. I've never really seen, I couldn't tell you anything about eyeshadow. I tried it, it looked awful. I don't need it, so I don't really use it. So I can't really help you on that one. But I've got an eyeshadow kit, but this is more for colors. I use the brown one here. And I actually use a ruler. I actually put it from the top of my ear up here to the corner of my mouth. And then I use just a very small brush and gently put a brown line across, thicker at the top. And as you get to the bottom, just taper it out. And then you come up here again and do a very gentle brown up here. Okay, so you've got thick brown line and taper it out, a little bit more of a brown line up to here. Do the same on the other side, just a little brown line, taper it, and then here. That makes your shadow for your cheekbones, right? So your shadow is there, right? Now, what you want to do is, you can also do your nose as well. Obviously, men have got bigger noses than females. So shadow the sides just to narrow the nose a bit with the same thing. You can see that I've got mine on there. And shadow across, probably need to reapply mine. Shadow across the bottom. Okay, so your nose is now shrinking because you've shadowed the sides, you've shadowed across the bottom, and you've shadowed there. That gives you more of a female bone structure look. So here, shadow, across with shadow, shadow, down, up. Okay, so that gives you your two female cheekbones, which I think you can see here and here. And then we'll come on what to do next. But don't put too much on. Just so you can put a little bit more on the top here. As you get down here, you're trying to make it thinner and thinner and thinner, because I found that putting powder over it doesn't really stick very well. Maybe it's just the cosmetic I'm using. So we've drawn our facial structure here, 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 and here. Okay. Now the next thing I do is I've got many different types of powder. Hang on a second. So we want to make our cheekbones more prominent. How do we do that? We highlight them, right? Simple trick I do is I use very pale powder. This is number 1. And I'll powder here. I'll powder here. Okay, very gently, very small brush here. I was telling you last week about the triangle cross. Very small powder here, 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 here. Fill it in so that it's really sticking out at you, okay? Obviously, the powder's got to be lighter than the foundation that you're using as well. 2 or 3 shades lighter. And then here, we're powdering here. We're then powdering the bit that we haven't filled in with the dark shadow here, okay? And then we're powdering straight up here with this bright powder, and then we can go all around here as well, okay? That's what I think has worked for me to bring that. I think you can see that the cheekbones stick out quite well. And add that with your tape, giving yourself the DIY facelift, and it works like a bomb. It really can work really, really, really good. You then use a darker, this is number 6. I got 5 and 6. Yeah, I got 5 and 6. So there you go. And I use the darker one to powder in here and here and here. And then I gently, using the darker one, I gently go over the line, very gently. Get yourself for the big powdering bits. Use the small one for the fiddly bits around here. You want a small brush for this bit, small brush for this tiny bit here and here. But all the rest of it, get yourself a really decent brush. Put it all in. Just have it all in with your powder. Just put as much. Not, well, don't put the whole thing on, but you know, as much as as sensible. Go over the line, okay, so that you haven't got like what looks like a felt tip marker on your face. Go over it and just kind of blend it out. But it's there, but it doesn't look artificial anymore. It looks natural. Blend it all together with the darker one, and then you should end up with nice white, bright cheekbones here with the bright powder. And then you've got a darker transition point here, and go over it with the dark one so that the line doesn't look so false anymore. Same on the sides as well. You can also, we've got bigger, as men, we have bigger jaws. We've got bigger angles of our jaws. So I also put a little bit of dark, the same thing I showed you, wherever that's gone. Just ask questions if I'm not explaining this properly. It's not always easy to do this. But yeah, again, the brown one, I put it right across here, across the bottom, not too much so that it looks silly, and there, just to try and block the angle of the jaw out. Just try to lower this area, just try to sort of hide it a bit, and then go over it with powder again. So decent brushes can really give you a decent sort of natural look. That's what I would advise. At the end, you'll always end up with loads of powder everywhere. So get another clean brush and just gently wipe it all away. And hey presto, there you go. So I think that's covered everything. So look after your canvas. I would advise playing around with the tape, foundation matching to here or to here, a good sponge, not a cheap one, a good sponge, so that it doesn't end up streaky to put your foundation on. I use liquid, up to you. Then you can do your eyelashes very gently, okay? Might even be worth wiping the top off with a tissue before you put it on, because you can put as much as you want on, but you can't take it off, okay, without ruining your makeup. Eyebrows, I keep them simple. We want our arch as close in line with the pupil as you can. And lipstick, whatever works for you, but you want bigger, fuller female lips. And then we're looking to do our raise our cheekbones with contouring, dark line till it fades. Slightly more of a dark line, but not as harsh as here. Again, here, dark here, dark here, dark here to shrink the nose, dark across here to take it away from the jaw, and then sort of medium powder color. We're all different. I can't advise you on colors. You'll have to work that out yourself. But you want things that are about 3 or 4 tones different in terms of powder from here and here to here. You want these to stick out. Okay. And I think that's everything in terms of how I do my makeup. There was nothing more that I wanted to add. If you've got any questions, ask them now, because I can only ever give you a very superficial take on what has worked for me in the past. And we're all different, so what works for me might not work for you. But I think some of the basic principles are pretty universal. So I hope that's okay. In terms of, I mean, we could do hair another time. I think I've mentioned this, that I really wouldn't advise skimping on hair. You can skimp on everything. My cosmetics don't cost anything more than, I think these were 3 for £7. I think these were. The mascara was like £3 or £4. Over time, you build up a collection. Pencils, £2, £3. Build up a collection. You don't need to buy any. You might have to go through a lot of trial and error, but you'll have to work out what works for you. But they're the basic principles that I stand by. If I was going out to a nightclub, or if I had to, do glam makeup, I'd be a little bit wanting, to be honest, because my aim is to go to the supermarket and to go out shopping in town, or rather than go out on the pull, if you know what I mean. So have a look. Oh, Jeffers sent me £10. It's very kind of you, Jeffers. Sorry for letting you down if I did, but it's very kind of you. And thanks to Penny as well. Didn't have to do that, but again, I thank people a lot, but you deserve it. So thank you so much for sending me that. It makes such a difference. Gives me the encouragement to make more and more videos. So maybe you should stop sending money, because otherwise I'll keep making videos. Thank you, Jeff. Where did I get up to? Eyeliner, we've done that one. We've done relationships. You are gorgeous and stunning. You're educational and interesting. It's just what I've done for 10 years. It's taken me 10 years to get to where I am. I'm not perfect. I get read quite a bit still, but it's a comfortable level. I might get read. You always get read more than you think you'll get read, because I know a lot of people don't react, because I've seen quite a few male to females out, and I don't sort of look and stare. The best compliment you can give to somebody who's trans, who's out, who you've spotted, is to completely ignore them. I was in a supermarket about 7 or 8 years ago, and a guy came up next to me, and he started being very friendly, started making like inane conversation about the frozen peas. And it's like, oh, this brand of frozen peas is good, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I might try these. Yeah. And he said, you look really good. And I'm like, yeah. And he said, you're very brave to come out here. I'm like, oh, okay. And he said, you pass really well. I said, well, obviously I don't pass well enough, do I, since you've spotted me? But it turned out he was another cross-dresser. And he was just interested in talking to me as another cross-dresser. He apparently said he'd seen me walking across the car park and wondered, and then obviously made the excuse to go and buy some frozen peas so he could talk to me. So, but yeah, I don't. It was when I first stepped out, making all the schoolgirl mistakes. It was a little bit uncomfortable, but I said in the first live stream that in some ways it's not great, but it can be. You can use it positively. If you get read, you think, right, what was the problem? Was I just wearing stupid clothes in the wrong place? Right, well, we'll fix that. Is this, are these glasses just not good? Is this hair too cheap? Was I walking bad? That can happen sometimes. Like you can just, your movement can go. We could talk about female movement as well. Women have a lower muscle mass than men. I mean, everything comes down to testosterone at the end of the day. Testosterone is growth hormone. It's more potent than the female growth hormone estrogen. That's why men get 6 inches taller than females. That's why we have bigger noses, bigger jaws, bigger body structure, because testosterone is more potent. You know, it causes noses to grow longer. It causes jaws to grow bigger and wider. It gives you a bigger frame. It gives you more muscle mass. So men's movements tend to be quite bulky. They tend to sort of move the whole body when they're turning. Because of the frame, because of the muscle mass, it makes their movements look a lot more kind of bulky. Because females have estrogen, which is less potent than testosterone. They do have a very small level of testosterone, and that tends to cause problems later on in life once they've gone through the menopause. The ovaries stop producing estrogen, but they keep producing those in the adrenal glands. They keep producing a bit of testosterone. So that's why women, when they go past the menopause, start becoming more manly, start having problems with their hair. And, I don't know what I was talking about, but your movements need to be more delicate. You need to be more limp-wristed. You need to be more relaxed when you go out in girl mode, because women's movements are more deliberate. When they turn, if there's a car crash behind you, the man will go, whereas the woman will probably do it. Well, maybe not for a car crash, but you know what I mean. Women turn their head a bit more, sort of, whereas men are a bit more. So you've got to be a bit more delicate and a bit more deliberate. You know, men will walk hunched forward. Women's we're going about hips. I haven't got my hips on today, actually, but women's pelvis is tilted backwards a bit more than the male pelvis. What that means is the edges of the pelvis, the ischial blades, they stick out more. So you get the hourglass figure in a female, but the pelvis has to be back so that the pelvic brim, the bit where the baby comes through, so the baby can be born without complications. And that's kind of the trade-off we've made when we've moved from walking on 4 legs to standing upright on 2, is that we've got the advantages of being upright and looking around, but we've got the disadvantages of it makes the birth canal more trickier for the baby to get through. But why this is relevant to what I'm saying is that women hips, their ischial blades stick out. So when they walk, those hips will swing forward and forward. So when you're moving, you've got to try and copy that, okay? Because I'll say this every week, actually. The one thing that'll get you red quicker than maybe if you're wearing fishnet stockings and high heels, the one thing that'll get you red quicker than anything else is if you walk badly, if you start moving like a guy, if you start moving in bulk. I think I know what I was talking about. Women's pelvises are tilted back, and that gives them an upright posture. If you ever watch a woman walk, she is bolt upright. She is straight. She's on the vertical. If you watch a man, he hunches forward, okay? Because his center of gravity is a bit higher, okay? Because his pelvis is more upright, so it pulls the body forward. So men tend to walk more like that, a little bit bent forward. So they tend to walk like that with the bulk movements because of the bigger muscle mass, because of the testosterone. Yeah. Whereas girls, they have less muscle mass, more delicate, more dainty movements. They seem to be a little bit more looser as well. I don't know if there's a scientific basis to that. They seem to be a bit more limp-wristed and a bit more kind of dainty. I think you know what I mean. But so you've got to copy that. So the way I would do it is 3 steps, really. When you walk, put your head up. Imagine you've got a pile of books on your head and you're trying to balance like that. Push your shoulders back like that. Obviously, not like that. But, you know, don't walk like that. Walk like that. Yeah, with balancing the books on your head. Your shoulders are back. And now we're going to walk from our hips. We're going to. I don't know if you can. We're going to walk like that. We're going to walk. Okay. Now, the best way to do that, if you're not, and I'll come on to this in a minute, but the best way to do that is actually to walk by putting one foot in front of the other. So if you walk like this, you will naturally swing your hips. So we're balancing our books, we're pulling our shoulders back, and we're walking from our hips by putting one foot in front of the other. Try and land on your heel as well, because their center of gravity is back and they're more upright. They tend to walk more from the heel. Okay, and you want to, and that's the way to walk. Okay. I noticed in some of my videos, and I do this naturally. I walk with my arm out like that. Now, there's a natural basis for that because women have broader hips. They've actually evolved a wider angle here at the elbow. Okay, it's called the carrying angle. And the female carrying angle, this angle from here to the forearm, it's about 15, 16 degrees in the female. So it stops them from hitting their hips when they walk. Whereas in the male, it's about 12, 13 degrees because we haven't got prominent hips to worry about. So if you really want to pay attention to detail, balance your books, pull your shoulders forward, put one foot in front of the other, or you don't have to. I can do it now without one foot in front of the other, but it's a good start. It's a good way to learn to walk like a female. You can even imagine you put one foot in front of the other, even if you're not. And then walk with your arm a little bit out, okay? Men will walk a bit like that. Women will walk just a little bit. It's quite subtle, but it's definitely there, and that's real attention to detail. And try and land on your heels first, okay? Again, we could spend an hour on deportment, just the little things. When men just tend to do this with their hair, women will often use the back of their hands to do that, yeah? And as I say, they kind of much more limp-wristed as well. So yeah, back of the hand. Women sit down. Men will plonk themselves out. We're buffering a bit. Okay, hang on. Let me see that. I don't know if that will work. Yeah, men tend to just, okay, whereas girls will kind of shuffle back. Well, they might not do that, but they'll often just sort of sit down like that, bottom first. They don't sort of, they become a bit more kind of feminine and gentle when they sit down. Let's try and do that again. I think you know what I mean. Still got the shoes on. A little bit more. Okay. That's okay. That's female deportment for you anyway. Again, people go on deportment classes, don't they? Like sort of want to be royal princesses and things like that. They get sent off to elocution lessons and deportment lessons and how to be a lady. But that's my earlier point. That is what will get you read. If you start moving and acting like a boy in girl mode, that will get you read faster than anything. Probably apart from wearing a fishnet stockings and a skirt to about here and 6-inch high heels. That'll get you read as well, but people might think you're in fancy dress or something. I don't know. Okay, let's go into some of your questions and comments. If you want to ask me anything about what I've said, because it's a little bit, half of it was written and then half of it was improvised. So people write encyclopedias. People pursue entire careers in makeup. The makeup artist is the career, you know. So I can only give you a very superficial guide based on what works for me and what I've done in the past. Leanne, what am I wearing? I always change my outfit 6 times before I actually go on. I'm wearing a, what's his name? A red jumper from, I think this was from Matalan, which is a cheap clothes shop in the UK. It was about £5. This skirt I got about 10 years ago. Got this about 10 years ago off eBay for about £4, something like that. I've got hold-ups on today, but I still got my suspender belt on anyway because I thought someone might like to see it. I've got these new shoes on, which I'm still wearing in with their wonderful tiger heel. And Well, I think I showed you what I was wearing underneath before. Simply said, okay, I keep saying this, don't I? But women go to cheap clothes shops as well, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to copy and be accepted as women, the average woman in the street. And she shops in Primark, she shops in Matalan, she shops in the, you know, in those type of shops, cheap chain stores. So that's what we're trying to do. So why don't we shop and wear the same clothes that they're wearing as well? If you want to go and spend £100 on a designer jumper, go ahead. But wearing too nice clothes will get you noticed as well, because women do check each other out. You know, I've had compliments, this hair particularly, I've had at least 3 women stop me and say, oh, I really like your hair, love. And I just sort of go, oh, thank you. I don't sort of turn around and say it's actually a wig and I'm actually a boy. But right, we've got something in Russian. Pozrat, I don't know what that means. Radost dobro vam na Pskova. I went to Moscow about 20 years ago. We went in February and we wanted to go and experience freezing cold temperatures and just the cultural sort of thing. We went for 5 days. And when we went there, we had all our ski stuff on and expecting to be -20 and snowdrift 6 feet deep. And when we went there, it was a thaw. It was a once in 100-year thaw. The temperature in Moscow was 12 degrees in February, so a bit disappointing. It's a good place to go. But I can read the alphabet. I can read the Russian alphabet, because if you don't, if you can't, it's not like going on holiday to Spain or Italy. People will speak English or there'll be English signs. In Russia, it's Russian or the highway. It's Cyrillic alphabet or nothing. So I learned to read the Cyrillic alphabet. So you could get right around the metro stations and you could read Izmailovsky Park and things like that. So I can read the text, and I know about 100 or 200 words in Russian, but no more to get by when we were there. I think my attempts, I think they were appreciated, but they weren't very good. Krasnaya Ploshat is Red Square. Obviously the usual sort of Dobry вечер, Dobry den, Извините, пожалуйста, Здравствуйте, which is thank you. No, Spasiba is thank you. I think Здравствуйте means hello. But it's been 20 years since I did it, but I can still remember the Cyrillic alphabet. So whoever you are, Pozrat, nice to meet you. Oh yeah, Sid. Yeah, that is Zdravstvuyte. That means hello. That's the first one. Anyway, I'll stop showing off now. Ni lublю. I'm sure lublю means love, but ni means no, so you don't love me. I probably got that wrong anyway. So, Liana Coates, have you got any goodies on bed? What do you mean by goodies, Liana? Not much. I've just got the tools of the trade. Makeup. Hair. I've got my hat as well, because it's still blowing a gale out there. So when I go, I shall put my hat on, because my hair will just get destroyed otherwise. It's but no, I'm afraid not. I don't know if you meant sex toys or something like that, but no, it's not one of those shows. This is a family show. Okay. Oh, racy. Have you got any good stuff? But so if you're going home tonight on the bus, where are you videoing? Well, I had to go away for 10 days to do some work. And it's a perfect opportunity to be Sarah in the evenings and work during the daytimes. So that's it. If you really want to know where I am, don't come and knock on the door. I'm in the salubrious surroundings of the Easy Hotel in Liverpool. Okay. And there really isn't room to swing a cat in here. I had to pay for the Wi-Fi as well. So this is the room. This is the bed and the wall. See it. There you are. It is. There's a saying that there's not enough room to swing a cat. and it's kind of used as a joke, but in this room there really isn't enough room to swing a cat. So I had all these visions of dressing up in full-length mirrors and everything like that, and I've literally got a corridor. I've literally got a corridor to work in, and well, there you go. But I will get home later on, but managed to get a lot of work done. But I just haven't managed to get enough Sarah time because the weather's just been too bad to get out. You have a lovely figure and legs. I love a nice pair of legs in hosiery. Yeah, I think we all do. I think hosiery is part of, it's a big part of it, you know. We all start the same way. I think we all start by sneaking our sister's or our mum's skirt on or a dress on, and then we add something else in, and then we add her underwear on in, or then we add the tights in, and then we add female top in, then we try the shoes on, and then one day we pluck up the courage to buy a cheap wig from somewhere, and then we start trying the makeup on. Probably the makeup comes before the wig. The wig is usually one of the last things people actually do because it involves trying to get a parcel to the house or going into a shop, or you know, we can buy wigs off the internet now, but you've still got to get them delivered. You might be living with someone that will ask questions, and you try. So we all start the same way, and it's just all part of it. None of us want to sort of dress manly as a girl, I would imagine. But yeah, it's all great, isn't it? Female clothes are so much better than boy clothes. The underwear, the hosiery, skirts are so much nicer to wear. I actually think the clothes are the wrong way round, because what's more natural for a boy to wear with certain appendages? It's a skirt, isn't it? And what's more natural for a girl to wear? Well, trousers, because they haven't got anything in the way. You know, but somehow we've got ourselves into a society whereby boys wear trousers and the girls wear the skirts. I'm sure if we could run the world again, it might turn out a different way. But then we'd all be on these streams talking about, oh, I really want to wear a pair of trousers, you know, and talking like sort of being naughty like wearing a skirt is. So, but yeah, there you go. That's the best. Okay, I have a lovely figure. I've been quite blessed with genetics. Our family are all quite athletic and slim. We all tend to live into our 90s. My great aunt died a few years ago at 102, so we've got quite good genetics in the family. Played a lot of sport, did quite a lot of running and everything like that. As I am at the moment, I'm 11 stone at the moment, 5'10", 11 stone, 5'9.5", and 11 stone. So it's pretty good. I'm pretty lucky. I wish I could be a couple of inches smaller, because I think 5'10" is just beginning to get a bit. It's not really, but it is a little bit. I mean, there's only 5% of females are 5'10" or taller, which doesn't sound very many, but that's 1 in 20. If you go out shopping in town on a Saturday, you'll see 1,000 girls. So, you know, 50 of those are going to be your height or taller if you're 5'10". I think normal range of a female is the average height in the UK. It varies in different countries, obviously. Apparently, the Dutch are the tallest race in the world. But the average height in the UK is about 5'4" for a female, and it's 5'10" for a male. But a normal range, when does someone become, as a girl, we're talking about girl heights, when do they become small enough that people notice and comment? 4'11", 4'10"? When do girls become tall enough that people notice and comment? 6'1", 6'2"? So if you're falling in those ranges, I don't think many people on this stream are going to be 4'10", but if you're falling in those ranges, you're probably not going to attract attention, because if you're 6 foot, you're probably not going to attract attention because you're 6 foot and you're presenting as female. If you're 6'3", you do get 6'3" females. I saw one a couple of weeks ago. She was about 6'4". It was huge, but she just had a perfect female face and nobody batted an eyelid. So just because you are tall, up to a certain degree anyway, I don't think is a big issue. But being tall as a boy often brings with it being broad as well. And the two combinations aren't great. but I wouldn't let it put you off if you are 6'1", 6'2", because we do get 6'1", 6'2" girls. Say maybe 1% of females are 6 foot or above, but that's still 1 in 100. And if you go out on Saturday and you see 1,000 girls, you're going to see 10 or 20 girls of that height, and you don't stare at them. People aren't pointing in the street, and because she's 6'1". They just, it happens. We've all met them, so don't let it put you off. But I think move on from that. But yeah, I'm lucky. I do have a good figure. I do have good legs. I wish I could be a little bit smaller. I wish my hands would be a little bit smaller. I wish my feet would be size 8 instead of size 9, because it would make my getting shoes so much easier and less painful. I wish my nose wasn't as big, and I wish my jaw wasn't as pointy and angular. But apart from that, I think I did okay. So, but what we're trying to do is very, very hard. If you're trying to make someone who's male, who's been exposed to testosterone for 30 years or 20 years, look like someone who hasn't, who's generally 6 inches smaller, 3 stone in weight smaller, with different biomechanics, different hips and different movements, and has been socialized in a completely different way for decades, and you're trying to go out and copy that, it's a difficult thing to do. This is a bloody hard thing to do, what we're trying to do, to turn ourselves from boys into girls, and then to take it to the next step and to go out and pass and people to accept us as female. It's really hard, yeah. And I've got as far as I have because I've spent 10 years at it, and I get read quite a bit still. I'm never going to get any better. I've taken it as far as I can without taking surgery or hormones or more permanent modifications. I'm not. So, yeah, what we're trying to do is really hard, and I have some good things, good attributes. I have some bad attributes, and we all do. Some of us are going to be better blessed than others. That's all I can say. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, Peter. Nice to meet you. I don't know. Jeffers, brains and beauty, then. Well, probably, yeah. Why not? I don't know. I stayed in a hotel like that when I came to Liverpool. I expected you to put somewhere a bit better, but never mind. I think the place is empty. Well, I hope it is, because I'm kind of talking quite loudly, and the rooms are so close to each other, so someone's getting a free male to female lesson if they're in this room here. Yeah. Jane, are you from Sweden, Jane, aren't you? Anyway, nice to meet you, Jane. Nice for you to come on and join us. If you've got any questions, I don't speak Swedish, I'm afraid, and I've never been there, but you're more than welcome. HMF CDJS68. What is my favorite style of lingerie? Practical or sexy? Practical. I mean, we're not talking like big granny hipsters, yeah? I'm a Marks and Spencer's girl. Now, I went there yesterday because I was gonna practice to do like a lingerie shot, a lingerie video, but I don't really have. I have sort of 3 pairs of panties, 3 bras, and that's pretty much all I've used for the last few years. And I went there and I thought, well, I'll get something really good, and the selection was just awful. I think they were trying to get rid of using the pandemic as an excuse that people be so desperate to buy new underwear that they buy rubbish stuff, and they could sell it at top prices when it's been sat bought on the shelves for a year. So probably somewhere in the middle, I would say. I mean, these ones. See those? Come up my bum as well. Just what you wanted to see, isn't it? Okay. So I think the word is, or the 2 words is pretty, practical, but pretty. Okay. I avoid thongs because you need somewhere to tuck your male anatomy back, and it helps with that. You can actually use this if, we'll be graphic here. If you put it right from the top of your willy and then through your tube, and then try and get your oh god, this is terrible. So you put it from the top of your willy over the top of your testicles, and then you pull it up your back, and it pulls your anatomy right through your legs up the back. And then, God, I really hope no one in the next room is hearing all this. And then you have a really smooth shape from the front. It looks really, really good. You can even get it right so that you got 2 labia as well. You've got the literal external appearance from looking from the front. If you do it right, it can be painful, particularly if you've got hairy anatomy. When you take the tape off, and this tape's really, really good stuff. I would wear pretty but practical full underwear, not thongs. And then if you can tape, I don't usually bother, to be honest, but I will do when I do the lingerie shop. But something full briefs, but pretty practical. I like white. I really like white underwear. I've never been attracted to black stuff, to be honest. I like black stockings, but I've never been attracted to sort of black lingerie. I don't really have any. Everything I've got, like this cami top thing. Probably best to show you this way. You can see it, got a little cami top on, and then there's me well, there you go. There's me cami top, and then there's me bra with me stockings and rice in them. So there you go. I usually buy padded bras because they give you a smoother, fuller shape. Don't go too silly with the boobs. You don't want them out here. Just keep it in proportion. But yeah, pretty but practical, full M&S underwear is kind of what I go for. Okay. Hi James. Yeah, you're from Sweden. Yeah. Okay. You've sent me a few comments, haven't you, on some of the videos? You. Okay. Dear Sarah, just be you and don't worry about all the dickheads. It's it depends. If I go out to Tesco's and if I get red in Tesco's, so what? Someone has a giggle, someone gets shocked, someone ignores, someone tells their next door neighbor 3 days later, guess what I saw in. I get disappointed because of all the effort you put in, and when someone spots you straight away, it can be a bit deflating, but it's not the end of the world. And if you're going to go out, that's why I say what we're trying to do is really, really hard. And, you're going to get red. You really are. And it's all about sort of going out so that you're good enough. Yeah, even if they do read you, you want to put enough doubt in their mind to think, was that? I don't know. That's kind of where you're going to get to, I think. I don't think, unless you're really blessed, unless you're really young. I think most of my audience is 40, 50, 60 age range. I think most of us are I don't think we're going to get perfect. But getting ready can be a little bit deflating for all the effort you put in. But I think it's going to happen, whatever you do. But it's all about being good enough that you put doubt in their mind, But I think kind of went off on a tangent there. There are certain people that I just wouldn't want to be read by. In a place like, it happens in every city. I'm not picking on Liverpool, but there are certain sort of young guys that are out in the town tonight, going around on the electric scooters, shouting at each other, smoking joints. I passed about 3 of them when I went out for a walk tonight. They're the kind of people I don't think I would really want to get read by, because they're also the kind of people that would say stuff and shout. And, I don't like to go on about nasty experiences because I want to encourage you all, because I've had maybe 3 in 15 years. So if I get one nasty experience every 5 years, then I'm not doing bad. So, for every 1,000 times I get read, I probably get 1 nasty experience. So don't let it put you off. Okay? but there are just certain, I suppose it comes down to the position you put yourself in. Because I went for a walk, I had my black sheer tights on when I went for my walk. I changed into the hold-ups. So I've got kneeling skirt on, black sheer tights. I've got these heel things on, and I'm walking around a deserted town centre at dark when it's windy and it's rainy. So I suppose what I'm trying to say really is pick your time and place as well. I did put myself a little bit at risk by doing that, but I'm experienced enough to know how to walk. I could put my umbrella forward and hide behind it and all that kind of stuff. But you can, I think what I'm trying to say is you can put yourself in situations where you are more likely to have unpleasant experiences. So if you are going to walk down that dark alleyway at 1 a.m. On a Saturday night when everyone's fueled up and you're in a bit of a rough part of town, you're in more danger than if you are in your local supermarket at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning when it's just a few old ladies doing their shopping. Yeah, they probably wouldn't even notice anyway. So it's difficult when you're dressed up and you're in a place and you just want to go out, and sometimes you do things that girls don't do. But I suppose it goes back to, if you want to be accepted and treated and passed as a female, you've got to do what females do, and those females don't go out in knee-length skirts, black sheer tights when it's howling gale on a Saturday in a deserted town centre, do they? So I think I explained that very badly, but I think there's always some sort of like lesson to be learned from what I say, but you just have to tweeze it out and spend a lot of time tweezing it out. Okay. For yourself. If I come visiting again, I will choose a nicer place. No, anywhere but here, I suppose. Depends what you want. This kind of hotel, if you're here on a stag do, and you need somewhere to sleep off a hangover, this room will do. If you're going to spend a lot of time in the room, then no, don't avoid this place. You know, costs £20 a night. I mean, I think part of that's because of what's going on in the world. I think no one's staying here, so it's cheap, but you get what you pay for. In terms of better hotels, well, I live here, so I've never stayed in a hotel here before, so I can't really help you on that one, Jeffers. No, I really can't. The Adelphi used to be nice. The Adelphi used to be the grand hotel that people stayed when they changed trains or came in off the passenger boat from New York. But it's fallen on hard times. About £30 a night there. I can't really help you, to be honest. We'll do Sarah's travel guide to Liverpool one day, perhaps. Yeah, Sarah stays around all local hotels as an influencer and tells you all about it. I did think, actually. I watched a film. I mentioned this in my first live stream. I watched the film Tootsie. That was one of the first big influences on me when I was young. I was about 6 or 7 when I first watched that, and it was a big influence on me that, whoa, this guy's dressed as a woman. I like doing that. Well, maybe I could do that, you know. And that set the spark. But the spark was always going to be there, you know. If you have a compulsion to try on your mum's clothes when you're 5, there's something innate there, isn't there? There's something natural there. But that was bigger. I'm going around in tangents again, but what I'm trying to say is that I watched the film Tootsie the other day, and I thought, wouldn't it be good if we did Sarah's movie reviews, and I could watch a cross-dressing film. So if it's Tootsie, if it's that Priscilla, the Queen of the Desert, I don't like Mrs. Doubtfire, the Birdcage. There's a few other sort of art house ones. I could watch the film and then do Sarah's movie review with like clips of the film. And then you could have I could review maybe 5 or 10 of the top cross-dressing films as another part of the channel. So I might do that. I might give you Sarah's review of Tootsie. Tootsie, I don't know if I think most people, if you're above 40 and you're into what we do, I think you'll know exactly what I mean. Dustin Hoffman. About 1982, I think, when I saw it. maybe late 80s, something like that. So stand by for Sarah's movie review. What was the one with Marilyn Monroe in it from the 1950s? The two guys were on the run from the mob and they pretended to be female. I think that was quite groundbreaking in its day in the 50s. Was it Some Like It Hot? I could watch that as well because I keep meaning to watch that to see how they did really well with Dustin Hoffman in Tootsie, actually. I think considering we're 40 years back, the makeup, they did really good. I mean, obviously, if in a real life situation you get read within 2 minutes, you wouldn't have a successful year-long career on national TV as female. But it's a film. But I thought I did really well with him, actually, transitioning into Dorothy. I'll have to watch Some Like It Hot, and we can do that as well. Okay, where did we get to? Just be yourself. We've done the dickheads one, haven't we, Barbara? Yeah. Like I'm visiting, we've done hotel reviews as well. I can't help you, Jeff. Sorry, love. Jane's back from sunny Sweden. Where are you from in Sweden? I know I've never been there, but I've seen it on a map. I know there's like Gothenburg, Norrköping. Any other places? Uppsala, Malmo. That's another one. Jane, like your open way to describe your life. I am T-girl since 15 years. It's quite late then, because I say most of us have got very similar stories. We'll all end up putting something on when we're about 7. Love this type of talk you have. This is all spontaneous. So better to meet IRL. I don't know what that means. IRL of C. Better to meet. Are you out often in restaurants or cafes? Do you like to go party too? When I first started stepping out with Sarah, I used to go out a lot on the town. I used to go out in Liverpool in the Algaze and mainly hover around the Lisbon. There was a club with a masquerade, but that was more for drag places. But I mentioned the story last week. I got picked up a few times tried to be picked up a few times in the Lisbon. Used to go out in my sort of younger drinking days. Had quite a lot of fun. 1 or 2 hair-raising situations. I got chatted up by a lesbian as well once, who didn't realise because she was really sort of like complimenting me. I had that blonde hair, the blonde bob. This one, I had that one on that night. It's about 10 years ago, and she was quite pretty. She wasn't the sort of stereotypical sort of masculine lesbian. She was really pretty. She had like knee-length skirt on, heels on. She was a lawyer, I think they told me. She started really complimenting me and sort of saying, "I love your hair." And she thought I was 19 when I think I was about 29 then. And I didn't. I just went along with it, like I did with Roger, the truck driver. A bit naive. And she didn't like put her arms around me or try and kiss me. We're in a gay club, so anything goes. But she was really hitting on me. I mean, I got that. And then she went off to the toilet and started speaking to her friends. And then she came back and she just completely flipped. She went completely cold and like finished the drink and walked off. So obviously she'd been given the heads up that I didn't have in my underwear what she quite thought I had initially. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I used to party. Now Sarah is just an average day-to-day girl. She doesn't really go out. I've been out to restaurants. My mum has taken me out for dinner 3 or 4 times with Sarah. You'll find, this goes back to partners, you'll find if you come out to friends, if you come out to family, they won't want to engage. You might be lucky, but they won't want to engage. If you try and mention the subject, they'll shut the conversation down. They certainly won't want to be out with you. They certainly won't want to take you out. So I'm quite lucky that I've got at least one person that'll go out with me. I've got a girlfriend as well who's done some filming for me. She's gone out with me a few times. Yeah, I've been everywhere. I've been absolutely everywhere as Sarah. Anything I haven't done is taken a plane flight, and that's a bit difficult at the moment. From what I've heard, they're okay, but you've got to go into a room and take your wig off so they can match your face to the passport. I'll have to do that one day though as well. I've done everything, Jane. I am so lucky. Yes, okay. HMFCDJS 1968. I'll just call you HM for now, okay? Like I call Ryan's belt OB. You know? I'm so lucky. 5'6", weigh 10 stone. You are lucky. 5'6" is brilliant. 5'6" is spot on. 10 stone, so you're 1 stone smaller than me. Female size hands, size 5 shoes. You really are lucky. You sure you're not actually female with those dimensions? Oh yeah. I think I spoke to you last week, didn't I? So I lived in Perth in Scotland for 3 years, about 10 years ago, just before that. It's a lottery. Some of us are big, and we're boys, so we're prone to be tall and big. You know, we have decades of testosterone, and we go through puberty with testosterone rather than estrogen, and it pumps our bodies up into different shapes, and we're having to try and transition to something that we're not. It's difficult. What we're trying to do is very difficult. So, and we're not going to succeed all the time. I think I am lucky in that way, as I don't have to tuck. Yeah, I mentioned that. There's some people, they go on about tucking and things like that. So I don't usually bother. I honestly don't bother. Particularly because it's cold 6 months of the year in the UK, so I'm wearing my coat anyway. So I've got so many layers on. So I'm just refilling my tank. I won't worry too much about it, to be honest. You just wear skirts. Sorry, I keep knocking the thing. Wider skirts, or it's not really a big problem, I don't think. But I would avoid thongs if you're going to try and tuck it back a bit. Hi, Barbara. Yep, we'll go out. The Lisbon's a good place. We could go there. Yeah, when it eventually opens. I went there in the summer as Sarah. I went there by myself with no friends. It wasn't much fun, to be honest. You couldn't go up to the bar, and I didn't go back. I haven't been to Lisbon since last summer now. I used to go there all the time though. How much rice in each breast, please? What do you want? Weight? 263 grams. Oh God, I can show you. You put in what you think is right for your dimensions. I think that would make a meal for 2 people. Does that help? Yeah. Maybe I could do with bigger boobs actually, because I'm a big girl. But these will do. I can't say any more. I would say maybe about the 500 gram. Try about 250, and then see how you go. If you're a smaller person, then you might have smaller boobs. If you're a big girl, you might have bigger boobs. You'll have to match that up to yourself, I'm afraid. But the Adelphi is where I stayed. The rooms were bad. Why are you offering to for a date or something? Let's leave that one there. You can send me an email. Yeah, the Adelphi was good. If it was 1912, it was one of the places to stay in the country. But in 2021, it's okay. The rooms aren't great, but it's cheap, and it can't be any more central. It's probably a good stag party hotel or hen party, since we're in that mode tonight. Somewhere where you're out all day, you're out all night, and you want 8 hours to crash, and then you're off again. That's a bit like this place. My first memory of T-Girl was Tula the Bond Girl. I don't remember that one. Was there a Bond girl who was trans? Because there certainly wasn't any transsexuals in the Bond films, were there? She was on front of the Star newspaper. I don't read that sort of highbrow stuff, I'm afraid, Jeffers. Star's just a bit. It's like the Morning Star, the communist one. Used to sell that near where I lived in London. There was a guy who looked just like Joseph Stalin who sold it. So had the proper moustache and everything. I actually bought a copy off him, actually, the Morning Star, just in case it was Stalin. Right. I bought my own copy, but I think I liked Gloria of it. Ain't Half Hot Mum. Gloria. Ain't Half Hot Mum. Was that the one that was set in World War II out in the Far East? And used to, was it the guy, the Welsh guy, Winston someone, with a big moustache and a bald head? I think I've seen reruns of it on UK Gold or something like that. Because there was a guy and it was very camp, very small guy. And I remember reading a newspaper article about him. I can't remember his name, Melvin someone. And I remember people for 20 years, people come up to him in the supermarket and they were shocked that he was there with his wife. They just assumed that he was gay because of the character played. Apparently he's got 6 kids or something. I think that's what you're talking about anyway. Mind you, people think I'm quite camp. Maybe I am, maybe. I've always said if life turned a different way, I could have lived as female. I'm not sure. I don't know if I would have transitioned or not. There were so many things I liked doing as a boy. I like playing football. I like playing cricket. I used to play rugby as well until I got my back done in. I wasn't big enough to play rugby. But I would have missed a lot of boys' stuff. So I probably could have quite lived happily in either gender, though. Right, Stockholm, South Park, Henning. I've never been. I could point to it on a map, Jane, I'm afraid. You see, I don't think many British people get to Scandinavia because when we go on our one summer holiday a year, we tend to go somewhere warm and we're guaranteed. The summers in the UK are okay. It can be wet and cool, but they usually get some decent weather. But when people want their 2 weeks away, they want guaranteed hot weather. So they tend to go to France, to Spain, to Italy, Florida if you've got a bit more money. So we don't tend to go to Scandinavia. That's my take on it anyway. I've never been there. Okay, South Park. Yes, we have in real life. Cool. I have been that with a lesbian too. A very nice woman. Yeah, I said last week, I don't know, would you classify me as a lesbian? I suppose as I'm dressed now, I suppose I would be. Sadly, not a female, Sarah. Well, that's great, Jane. Nice to see CDs from Sweden. All right, you're talking to each other now. This is me. I'm the star of the show. Jane, you have been so informative tonight on the finer art of makeup. Though I do fine with it, just think it is confidence also involved. Do you think? Definitely. Yeah. I can only tell you what works for me, and there's about 7. There's only 10 steps from looking after your face to your tape, your foundation, your contouring, the right colours that work for you. I can only tell you what I did, and half of that was kind of written down, and half of it I just made up on the spot. It's the best I can do, really. There are people that make their entire lives out of makeup artistry, and I can't offer any more than that. I tend to wear glasses because I've got a bigger nose. I don't need glasses, but I just think they frame the face a bit better and they shrink the nose down a bit. But you can get these ones off. These are off eBay for about £3. They're clear lens as well, so they're like fashion costume glasses, I think they're called. So I tend to wear them for that reason. I think it made another difference actually with the tape, and wearing glasses made a difference in getting me read less and less. So, okay, well, thanks for the compliment anyway, HM. Appreciate it. She is famous. Well, I thought she was. If this is 1984, well, yeah, there's a joke there, isn't there? It does feel like 1984, the way the world is at the moment, doesn't it? have to go. Thanks for your live chat. No problem, Jane. Thanks for coming. We've been going almost 2 hours now. So I think I'll wrap it up at 2 hours if the comments keep coming, but give it another 10 minutes. So otherwise I miss the last bus home and the bus driver won't get the fright of his life otherwise. But you wear these masks, it's just, you know, anyone can pass. Been walking around, you just got to use a facial cloth. So I've been walking around like this. I've had my scarf on, and then I've and then when Sarah, and then when I go into the shops, I just do this. Pull it up. So I'm walking around the shops like that all the time. So it's not a bad idea if you're not as confident, if your makeup skills aren't as good, if you know, not all of us as good looking as me. It's not a bad idea to get out now that you can wear a mask and no one's going to sort of point at you, or they're not going to call the police thinking you're about to commit an armed robbery. It's a good time to go out. Give it a go. Pay attention to your movement now. You have been so informative. She's famous. Have a go. Okay. That's, as you say, wearing the proper femme clothes to suit the situation. You have to. Yeah. I've spotted the last 3 girls I've spotted out. Not transsexuals. I've met transsexuals. There's a difference between transsexuals and transvestites. It's a big difference. I've met transsexuals, and there's the many that I've met, there's very little male about them. There's something genetic there. They are just women, and they tend to sort of transition, and they turn up in girls in like jumpers and jeans and trainers, and they look really good. It's yeah, I've got on a tangent there, but the 3 transvestites I've spotted, I mean, my mum always said to me, she said, you can always tell, and I'm like, you can't. And that's a bit of a silly thing to say, isn't it? Because if you didn't tell, you wouldn't know, would you? You're only basing that on the people that you've read. There's plenty of other girls that you've gone past you in broad daylight in the street that you've not read. So you can't always tell. You can be good enough. You can pass face to face. I've done it. I'm not brilliant, you know. But the 3 girls that third time I'm going to try and say this, the 3 transvestites I've spotted in the last couple of years in Liverpool have all been because of what they were wearing. Because I'm like any other guy, when I see a girl wearing heels, black stockings and a knee-length skirt, red makeup, long blonde hair, I'm going to look. And then I look, my attention was torn. And these situations were supermarket, outside a car park in Liverpool on the road that runs down to town by the Adelphi, Mount Pleasant Road, and one up the hill a few years back. And they were all wearing heels. They were all about 6'3", black stockings, knee-length skirts, high heels. Wigs weren't quite there. Maybe it's because I've got good TDAR anyway, because having, it takes one to know one. But that's what gave them away to me. Now, if they'd toned it down, if they'd worn just a simple skirt, thicker tights, ballet shoes instead of heels, they'd invested in a good neutral color, like a brown wig, had toned the makeup down, had paid more attention to where they were moving and didn't look so furtive. They all looked suspicious. I think we've got an evolutionary sense of when someone's acting suspiciously. There's a way people act if they're in the supermarket, if they're walking down the street. They act relaxed because they're not doing anything wrong, but unless they're shoplifting. But that's a different story. And when people are out doing something they shouldn't do, or they feel they shouldn't be doing, or they're nervous, people pick up on it. I'm sure it's evolutionary that we have a sixth sense to pick up furtive, suspicious behavior in other people. And I think women have got much more attuned to that than men, actually, because I think for women it's a survival instinct. A man can, at the risk of being sexist, but also at the risk of telling it straight and true, men are more able to defend themselves, whereas women aren't. Women talk about dark alleyways last week, that doesn't bother me to go down dark alleyways. It doesn't bother me to walk around a dark town centre at midnight in black stockings because I've got a man's head on, whereas maybe I should put more of a female's head on. I think that women's intuition isn't a myth, and I think they can pick up nervous, furtive behaviour in other people a lot quicker than men. But I think people in general can pick it up because it's evolutionary. If you think someone's acting suspiciously and furtively, that could be a cue that you're about to be jumped or attacked. And those of you that can pick it up quicker are less likely to avoid that negative situation. They're less likely to become a cropper. They're more likely to have 1,000 children. Those genes to pick up suspicious behaviour get magnified in the gene pool, and we are where we are today. So, yet again, I don't know how I got there, but yeah, as I say, the 3 ones I've spotted recently were, I don't see them out very often, really. The male to female part-timers who don't pass really well, like a transsexual, like a young transsexual, or someone who's been on hormones for 20 years and had facial surgery. You don't see them out very often. But the 3 I've spotted were all made basic errors. That's what I say. You can wear nice, pretty clothes without sticking out. I know we all like this. Yeah. But if you're going to go to the supermarket 10 o'clock on a Sunday, be prepared. Right. Short dresses are for nights out. Yep. Blackpool. We're not far from Blackpool, actually. I know there's a big tea girl scene there, but I've never been out on the tea girl scene in Blackpool, but I've been there a few times. Various things. Skinny jeans. I mean, you mentioned this about jeans. I did go through a jeans phase years ago when I thought it was a bit more. Someone told me that transvestites wear skirts. So I've heard this, only transvestites wear skirts these days because women's fashions is more about looking more and more like a man. But yeah, I don't wear jeans. I can wear or trousers. I've got a pair. I was thinking about wearing them for a video, but then I thought, no, I don't think that'd be that popular. But I wear trousers every day, so when I get a chance to be a girl, I'll wear a skirt. I like wearing skirts, But you can wear girly, feminine stuff that doesn't stick out, and there's just about enough girls out there that will still wear feminine stuff and pretty stuff that no one's going to point at you, but just be sensible. Okay, she was famous, or so I thought. It rings a bell. It does ring a bell. I'll have to look her up. Okay. Yes, it was a World War II film set in a POW camp. Yes, Mervyn Hayes. Okay, right. Yeah, I've seen a rerun on UK Gold, I think. Yeah, Mervyn Hayes was the guy, very camp, small guy, very camp. And people thought he was gay and he had about 6 kids. Yeah. Makeup tips I'm going to try for sure. Well, I've got a lot of pictures done because I haven't been able to get out because of the weather, but I have got a lot of pictures done showing all the stages. And that's the plan for the 3rd how-to video. I won't show them too much. But they do show all the stages of, how you go through it. So the plan is to show on the video is to show picture by picture. So clear face, foundation, how to, and then the pictures will come and the slides will be in between. It'll probably run to about 10 minutes, and those videos take a long time. The first one I did, first how-to video, probably took me about 2 weeks to put together. So it'll come. They're the most popular ones, actually. Pictures of me out and about, or my promo videos and stuff, they don't seem to get watched that much, but the how-to ones steadily get watched all the time. So I'm quite proud of those. think the first one got 40,000 views, so I'm really proud of that. But yeah, you're welcome, Samantha. You're very welcome. Barbara, where would I be without you, Barbara? Dear Sarah, don't put your glasses on. You look much sexy. You look so much sexy without your glasses. You think so? I think I look a bit manly without glasses. I think you can also see I look like I've got like camouflage paint on, or I need to powder over it before I go, because the powder doesn't stick to the brown as good as the foundation. So I'll have to just repowder. Otherwise, I just look a bit silly. I prefer glasses myself, Barbara. I'm trying to give the look of a sort of early middle-aged female, which is kind of roughly where I am in my own life. So I'm not going to dress as if I'm 25. I'm not going to dress as if I'm 65. I'm going to try and get it in the middle. So the sort of school teachery look with the glasses, the Primark clothes, and the hair's probably getting a bit young for me, but it's okay. Dear Sarah, MP glasses on. See you later, Jane. I'll be back on Friday, and that'll be the last one for probably a few weeks then. I'll probably try and concentrate on getting some videos done in the next week when I've got the chance to. But hopefully the weather will calm down a bit. We'll email in the week, Jeffers. Good night, love. Cracky began 2 hours. Yep, we're going to wrap it up in a sec. So thank you so much for tuning in. The viewing figures have been pretty similar to usually get about 25 to 30, between 20 and 30 watching at any one time, and about 150 to 200 people pop in and out. And then we get about 1,000 to 2,000 will watch it recorded over the next few weeks. So it's all pretty encouraging. But I really appreciate everyone coming and watching it as it's done, because it's your comments keep it going. I can talk for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes on something, but it's difficult to kind of talk to a screen, and getting the feedback is what makes it for me, really. That really makes it. And so I thank you for tuning in, because the people actually tune in live are actually about 1 in 100 of the people that will actually watch this in the next month or two. So you're all very special to me for actually giving up 2 hours of your Saturday night. I think Couple State on Saturdays is what I'll keep it, given the way the world is at the moment. I wasn't sure when to schedule it, but I think people might be out on the town or something on a Saturday. But we'll keep it at that time. But the next one will be on Friday. Okay. I won't be able to be here next Saturday. Friday's my last Sarah day, so I'll do it Friday, 8:30. So 6 days' time. If you've got anything you want me to talk about, send in the comments below the video. You can even send it now. I'll read out your messages, and then I'm going to say goodnight anyway. Okay. I've got a bus to catch. Mind you, I've got until 12 till the last bus. Thank you for a lovely night, Sarah. Email in the week. Thank you for a lovely night, Sarah. Hope to catch you next week. Well, I'll be here on Friday, so hopefully you're more than welcome. And thank you, Jeffers, for the super chat. It was very kind of you. Hope you get more Sarah public time this week. I've been Sarah. This is the 4th day in a row I've been Sarah. I might have a day off tomorrow because my face is getting a bit red from the close shaving. But next week I would have been out and filming, but for the weather, it was just been atrocious. And getting out with long hair and blowing everywhere, wearing this silly hat and then having to take it off when I'm indoors and the hair goes everywhere. This wasn't going to work. So there's nowhere open really in town to go to apart from Marks and Spencer's. That might make. I was going to go out and do some filming outside, maybe go to the Albert Dock again, but the weather was just too bad, and it's just been blowing a gale for 4 days now. But next week we'll go out. Samantha, I love to wear something. I love to wear. I can't read that bit. Dress and skirts too. Oh yeah, we wear trousers every day. Why would you go to all this trouble and then just put on a pair of jeans. Do if you want, but it's not what I want to do. I love to watch your out and about videos, Sarah. Yeah, we need to do a few more of those. I'm going to wear these in the next one, I think. These ones. So the plan is to, I might do that movie review. We'll do the video with me wearing these, I think, next. And then if I can get some lingerie, I might have to wait a month for the lingerie shoot because I'm not going to buy that crap that was on offer in M&S. And there's nowhere else open because underwear clearly isn't an essential product. We'll do the lingerie shoot with these on as well. So lots of fun and games to come. I think I started this because I was bored on the train 18 months ago. Your hair looks great. I got this from a place called Wiggins, which is on Penny Lane in Liverpool, the Penny Lane. And I've been buying stuff off the internet. I've been going to Southport on the train to find the only wig shop that I knew. And then 10 years later, I found out I live around the corner from a wig shop. I literally 5 minutes walk from Penny Lane where I live. And I'd never realised it was there. But I go in now and she knows me, and I think they do mail order. I'm gonna plug them when they open up anyway. So she's very good. She gives you a discount as well if you ask. The reason I say this cost about 240. This one. I went in the shop and I turned to the left and I saw it straight away. The first one I saw and I thought, I want that. I didn't even try it on. I just bought it on the spot about 5-6 years ago. And it's probably been. This is the one that women stop and say, "Oh, I love your hair, love." You know, so yeah, it's been a good purchase. If you haven't got a lot of money, something like that. I don't take good care of my hair. I should take better care of it. One's from Contrast. That's 75. That's how I started. About £70. Contrast wigs. Just Google it. They do a medium range. That's 75. But I really wouldn't skim. If you can spend the 200-300, ignore human hair wigs. Too much hassle, and they're not worth the money. These kind of ones, £200. So they all need a good brush. Yeah, it was just on the spot buy. I knew it looked good. So Barbara, no problem, Barbara. We'll see you soon. Jade, hey, sorry I'm late. Well, you couldn't have been much later since we're going to finish in a couple of minutes, Jade. It's always recorded, so you can catch up. And I'm back on. You lucky people, I'd like to see me again on Friday. So hope you can make Friday, but catch up. The first part was about makeup and how I transform, and the last hour and 15 minutes has just been a bit of a gossip, really. So great. Lots of good comments tonight, actually. Sarah, appreciate you too. You're great. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's great. Yeah. I just wish I could have got out more. That's all. I wish I could have got out more. But never mind. Night. Good night, Sarah from Edinburgh. Take care. Do you ever wear leggings? I wear them if I'm out hiking trails. Well, I don't tend to find going out hiking and climbing in the mountains is a good time to do male to female. Not really. No, it's skirts or nothing, really. Skirts, tights, nice shoes. Usually just chunky jumpers. I'm not bothered about tops, really. And nice underwear. That's what it'll always be. The one you have on. Do you wear leggings? What do you mean by leggings? Do you mean like hold ups? Do you mean like hosiery? These kind of things. I prefer stockings. I was going to buy some new black ones, but they didn't even have any stockings out in Marks yesterday. So I've got a plastic bag this big full of tights. So, yeah. Right, Barbara's comment. As I have I do get my hair from Wiggins. Yeah, I went and spoke to. I can't remember her name in there now, because I know her so well. I've forgotten her name. She's really good. I mean, I asked her if we get a lot of trannies in there. She said, yeah, all the time. Because I showed her the pic. I'm not bothered anymore. I just go in there now in boy mode, try it on, show the pictures of me, and I just go, and she's fine. And why would she be difficult? I imagine we might be 10-20% of our customers, valuable customers. So, you know, our money's as good as anyone else. So if you haven't had the opportunity, go to a wig shop and try them on. They don't care. Your money's as good as anyone else's. You know, you're not the first person to go in there. You can even ring them up or email them and say, like, you're a bit nervous. Can I have an appointment? Can I come in, you know, when the shop's closed for 5 minutes, that kind of thing. You're a customer. Your money's as good, your profit. So, you know, they're not going to make you feel awkward. They'll bend over backwards for you. So if you get the chance to go to a wig shop, then do it. Then go. And it might save you money. You might buy something that doesn't suit you and you've spent money on it. And you go there, you can try 5, 10 on, and you walk out with something that's really good. And they've also got the knowledge because you're not the first trainee that's gone in there. The lady like Wiggins, they've been there 40 years. So they've got so much experience that they're passing on. Like I mentioned last week about the if you go for a makeover, go for the lesson. Okay, go for the knowledge. Just get the makeover, but get the knowledge as well. Whereas same with the wig shop, get there, get a lesson on hair, try them on, find out what frames your face better. Don't be nervous because you're not the first trainee to go in there. You won't be the last trainee to go in there. Okay, and you might save yourself a lot of time, effort, and heartache and cash if you do. Right. Who makes the wig you have on now? This is Renee of Paris. I always go for Renee of Paris now. The first ones were contrast wigs. They were the cheaper range, the 60, 70 pound ones. And ever since then, I usually spend between 200 and 300 Renee of Paris. I don't think I've got any other brand. I got a few Noriko ones, but I didn't like them. About 10 years ago, I got put in touch through the training group that I was a member of. I got put in touch with a retiring transvestite. He was someone who had been very, very good, but through a mixture of sort of health problems, relationship changes, and things like that, he decided he was going to give up being a transvestite. But he had a load of stuff to sell. So I went and bought about 4 of these Noriko wigs off him. I was a bit naive in those days. I hadn't been out, and but I've only just started going out, just started joining the group. I was sent to go and see this guy to buy his stuff, this girl. And I just spent 150 quid and bought everything, including 4 wigs. They were all Noriko. They never suited me. They obviously were for his or her style, and they weren't mine. I prefer a hair that frames the face, that gives me the oval shape, whereas his were more fringy and straight. So obviously probably suited him or her when he was out as a girl. So that's the only other brand I've got. Contrast to start, the cheap ones. That's where I've got to start. And my first proper expensive purchases where I went into the shop have all been Renee of Paris, apart from those Noriko ones, which I bought secondhand in a block, and none of them really suited me. If anyone wants them, drop me a line in the comments. I don't mind sending them off. They're okay. They might suit you better than me, but they just sit and gather dust, and I'll never wear them again. There's like a gingery red one, which is kind of about this length, like a bob almost. There's a brunette one, which is a bit like this. And then there's a blonde one, which is not as platinum as this one, but it's the same length as that one. It's a medium length one, so it's about here. I think they're up in the attic, I think. So if anyone wants them, drop me a line. I'm sure they were decent at some time. I'm sure someone spent 100, 200, 300 pounds on them at some time, but they just don't suit me. They need a good brush and a wash and everything like that. You're still making comments. I'm going to miss the bus if we keep going much longer. So Renee of Paris, about 240 it was. Do you wear mum underwear or sexy underwear? Probably mum underwear, Victor, I think. I think I've already shown you my bum before. There you go. I'm not going to show you the front because I'm not tucked in properly. Okay, I might put you off your dinner too. So I think they're more, I don't know how you describe them, practical but pretty. I don't do thongs. I might do for the lingerie shoot, but it would have to be from various angles so that certain things aren't showing. I'm going to try one of those wigs. Okay. Rene of Paris. It'll cost you between 200-300, but they really last really well. This one's about 6 years old. This one's about 12 years old. Some of the others are 3 or 4 years old, and the way I wash hair is very simple. Wet the hair, shampoo, rinse it off under the shower head, conditioner. You can really squeeze it as well. Conditioner throughout, shower, rinse it all off, and then I hang it to dry on top of the shower head overnight. In the morning, it's as good as new. Just comb it out or brush it out, and it's back to normal. So yeah, I think I said there's not a massive difference between those and the contrast cheaper ones, but I just find that those don't last as long. They tend to go a bit tatty within a year or so. Anything else? Hi, Barbara. She is very good to me, and she's Adele, is it? Okay. I haven't been in for about a couple of years now, I don't think. Well, oh yeah, I think I've run out of things to say, which may sound unlike me. But all good things have to come to an end, and this has to come to an end too. So I'm going to say goodnight to you all. Thank you so much for all. As I said earlier, you're very special because only about 1 in 100 people who watch this actually tune in on the night. So you're all very special to me, and I thank you for 2 hours of your Saturday night. And if I've helped you in any way, or made you laugh, made you cry, or hopefully saved you a little bit of time and hassle on makeup or hair or going out or anything else, I'm pleased to have done so. And say goodnight there. Thank you for your comments as well, because it's the comments that make it. It's the comments that keep me talking. I would have dried up about an hour and 40 minutes ago, but for your comments. So I'm very flattered that you've all stayed tuning in, that you've all commented, and we've got an audience from at least one European country as well. So, well, 2, 3. We've got people in Ireland. I've got people in Ireland. Hello, Pen. UK and Sweden. I think there's people from America as well, but they're keeping quiet. Okay. Thank you, Pen, and thank you very much for the donation to Sarah TV. Yeah, it makes a big difference, and I do appreciate it, but no more, okay? I will email you. Okay. Good night, Samantha. Right, 2 hours and 18 minutes. That's the record so far. We've broken the record by 40 minutes. But I am going to say goodnight. I'm going to put my hat on, and I'm going to go to the bus stop, and I'm going to go home. So, what do you think? Not bad. Once I've got my scarf on, no one will know who I am. So this is Sarah Jackson of Sarah TV saying good night, God bless, and hopefully to see as many of you as possible on Friday. Right, I'm off to catch the bus. 20:30 GMT, yeah, Greenwich Mean Time, Friday the 19th of March. And no more comments. Good night, gorgeous. Good night, gorgeous yourself.